That's not a call. This is a call. Dell's Big Call.
Exactly right. In the lead up to the new rugby league season, we're going to deal with all the big calls, asking him all the big questions in the lead up, Jude. And I'll go first, big fella.
Go for
I'm going to ask you who is the Dally M winner at the end of this 2022 season.
Yeah, look, I had a couple of options here, but look, I have to pick one. You know, a lot of people would have been easy for me to say.
Go through your process of elimination.
I just had a couple of players who I know they're going to poll well. Who, if you're going to win games, you're going to get to the back end of the season and win grand finals. You know, you got guys like Cleary. Luke Keary's back this season, but I'm not sure how he's going to go after the injury. But I think he's such a freak. But I think for me, I've gone for Cam Munster. There's a couple of reasons.
What about Turbo?
Yeah, Turbo's in and around there. Obviously, Turbo you could pick, but I think for Cam Munster, this is a season now where 3 or 4 of these high-profile players are leaving, going to Redcliffe. He's off the drink for a year. He had a bit of a mishap last year. He's got a young kid now, and I just think for him, I think contract negotiations are up too. I just think this is set up perfectly for him to stand up for Melbourne and stay there for the next 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
Do you think, so you don't see Melbourne having a drop-off? A lot of people are thinking that might be the case. I mean, people have been saying that forever, though, haven't they, the last 5 or 6 years?
No, I know that, they've lost a couple of players, but, Brandon Smith moves next year, and it's funny because Melbourne Storm is such a passionate club, and even though players are going elsewhere, they all want to play for one another. Obviously, Nico Hines has moved along too, but they've got so many good youngsters coming through there, and they buy the right players as well. You look at Xavier Coates is there, and I just think Cam Munster... with Bellamy, I just think he put a lot more responsibility on himself. And don't forget, people said, "Oh, mate, they choked in the grand final, in the prelim final last year." No. Penrith actually took them out of their comfort zone, which you've got to do. I know they had a couple of injuries and that there, but I just think for me, Cam Munster, this is his opportunity to win that Dally M.
It's a good big call from Dell.
It is a huge call.
That's the segment.
Well, we'll put it in the vault and we'll see what happens.
Oh, I love the vault.
All right, next one, the coach under the most pressure. Give us a proper call.
Yeah, look, I hate doing this because, I just feel for the coaches, but it's our job. And look, there was a couple of coaches I had in mind. And, Kevy Walters had bought some high-profile players this off-season. Obviously, Capewell there, Adam Reynolds, a lot of pressure on not so much those guys, but Kevy needs to get this right. But I went away from Kevy to Madge Maguire. I just think with Madge because...
Gee, you're into him. They've called him the wooden spooners and now you're into the coach.
Yeah, I just don't know with the Tigers. I just don't know how they're going to play. Tim Sheens is there now. If they're going to be on board with what they're doing, there's no doubt they've got some talented players here. But I think for me, the consistency is the part. Even at the moment, they don't even know who their captain's going to be. Like, that's for me... You need direction. So, like, if you're going to have Adam Dewey as captain or James Tarmow, I think interviews on the weekend, James Tarmow had to answer questions whether he's going to be the club captain this year.
What do you want to see from their first 5 games? What's the win-loss for the first 5 games from them?
Oh, mate, 3 wins, 2 losses. I'd be happy with for them. I haven't looked at their draw yet, but I feel sorry for Madge because Madge is a good bloke, good coach, but he needs the results and they need to get on the same page here. They haven't been on the same page for a long time with the Tigers, so unfortunately, I know Madge is a friend of the show's.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, you caught him the wooden spooner the other day. He nearly drove off the M3 on his way home.
Oh,
poor bloke.
No, and don't get me wrong, like Kevy Walter's under a bit of pressure too this year because I had friends last year say to me, mate, Kevy's under a bit of pressure. Oh, man, I think Kevy knows that himself. So you have to buy the right players and you've got to have the right mix.
Okay, thanks, big fella. Tomorrow we'll do some more big calls with you. Tigers' first 5 games, the Storm, they're going to get beat. Yeah. The Knights, the Warriors, the Titans, and the Sharks.
Yeah, so
you can see 3 wins out of the Knights, Warriors, Titans, and Sharks.
You can see it. You can see them winning those games.
You could see it, but you'd be a long way away from the truth.
The Rush Hour on Triple M.